Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about why you might need to take a little bit more time to take care of yourself so that you can better help other people. My name is Connor McCall and I'm hoping to make your day just a little bit easier. Now there can be a fine line between taking care of yourself and just coming across as selfish. It can be a little bit of a delicate act of balance, but the main difference is selfishness is when you're all consuming, you just want to do things because you're trying to gain for yourself, as opposed to focusing on yourself in order to better your state of mind so that you can help other people and contribute more in the world. One of my favorite analogies is you can't bring other people water from your bucket if you don't fill your bucket up first. And on top of that, if you better understand how you function and things that help you out, you're better able to help other people out because you understand the human experience more and you can relate to them more and hopefully have some more insight in order to share. I think we've all had experiences in our lives where we've been told you should stop doing that, you're being selfish, you're focusing too much on yourself. And that has a tendency to kind of scar us, and sometimes that's in the back of our mind if we are saying no to somebody because we feel like it's overwhelming or it's too stressed out. We think, man, we shouldn't be saying that because we're being selfish. And I think maybe that has a lot to do with past incidences that have caused that. I think the irony in that is that we're almost always thinking of ourselves all the time anyway. So it's easy to get caught up in the fact that, am I really selfish? I just think about myself all the time. But that's normal. Everybody does it. So don't let that bother you if you're one of those people. But that's also completely understandable because we are living our own experiences. We fortunately are able to relate with other people's feelings because we know we've felt them before. We know what anger feels like on ourselves, so we can help understand what it feels like with other people because we've experienced that. So it's just part of the human experience that we think of ourselves because we're kind of trapped in our own bodies. And because of that, I think it's really easy to be misunderstood. When we reach out to other people to help them, they typically always say, thank you for helping me. It's not something like they say, thank you for putting in the years of work to better yourself so that you're in a better position to help me right now. They're in pain, they're hurting, and they're just trapped in their current experience. And it's hard to stay focused on other people when you're in that state of mind. Something that I like to relate that to is actually Picasso's story of his napkin art. I don't know if you've ever heard this one before, but he was sitting in a restaurant and he had someone walk up to him and said, oh, hey, you're Picasso, can you draw me something? And he said, sure. So he just whipped it up on his napkin real quick. It took him like 10 seconds. And then when she went to grab it from him, he said it would be $10,000. And she was like, what? That took you 5 minutes? And he said, no, that took me my entire life. And I love that story because that can be applied to every area of our life if we're doing everything that we can to become a better person. If you're mental support for somebody or physical support for somebody, typically they don't think about the fact that you're putting in hundreds and thousands of hours to really try and become a better person so that you're able to support them better. So something that I do that could be considered selfish is I work out every single day. A big reason why is because I just love it. Honestly, one of the biggest motivations for me to start working out every single day was not because of how much I love it or because of the looks or anything like that. It was more because I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to live a long and healthy life so I can be there for my wife and my daughter. Now that can be inconvenient sometimes for my family because there are times where my wife gets home from work and she's feeling overwhelmed, but I'm working out because I started working out when I got home from work and the timing just doesn't line up. Sometimes taking care of yourself so that you can be better prepared to help other people can be a little bit selfish or inconvenient for the same people that you're trying to help, but sometimes you just got to look at the bigger picture and realize when you need to set boundaries for things. And that's exactly why it's really important to learn how to say no. That's something that a lot of us struggle with. It can be hard to say no, especially if you're a selfless person. But we really only have so much time in our lives, obviously. It's a short life that we live, and so we have to be able to set boundaries in order to make sure that we're not becoming a burden on other people because we're getting so worn out and burned out. You also could just come across people that are trying to take advantage of you, and that's no fun. I think it's important to think of your time as an asset, kind of like money. You only have so much that can go around, so you have to be careful about where you're spending your time. Something that I do to try and help determine when I should say no is if I'm just getting stressed out or if I'm feeling anxious or I just don't want to be there anymore. That's typically a pretty good indicator to me. And if you're one of those people that really have a hard time saying no, something that you can do is just schedule it out. schedule out a certain amount of time in the day that you have to help other people, and then you can let them know up front that, hey, I only have so much time today. I won't be available to help you all day. Give yourself an out. It makes things a little bit easier. So I think it's really important that you make sure you give yourself the time to keep your bucket full so that you got plenty of water for others. So some of the things that I make sure that I do every day to keep my bucket full is to spend time with my wife, spend time with my daughter, make sure I'm working out, take a little bit of time to maybe meditate or just get some alone time outside in order to reset my mind if I'm feeling really stressed out that day. You just got to make sure that you're trusting your instincts with this kind of stuff, because you can determine better than anyone else exactly the kind of things that do stress you out or the things that you enjoy doing. And if that can be a hard thing for you to pay attention to, then really just start focusing on all the things that you do throughout the day that make you feel good, and just do more of them. And people will love and appreciate you more if you have more energy and more positivity those times that you do help them, even if it's for a shorter period of time, because you're just going to be more of a joy to be around, and you're going to be able to put more energy into the work that you're doing to support them. But let me know what you think about all this in the comments. I'd love to hear some people that have different opinions from me on any of this. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I also do a weekly Substack newsletter. I'll put all that in the description below. And hit subscribe if you like. Thanks.